He's one of the leading experts in EdTech with us. We'll take us through it. So, you know, conceptually, the reason for... Yeah, go on.
Sorry. No, all good. Apologies, my mic was unmuted.
Yeah. So the reason for SwinModerate was that Swinburne's done a lot of work in the, you know, in its grading approach over a number of years. And as we moved over to Canvas, we were aware that there was, you know, some of the Canvas capability on the results moderation area wasn't necessarily there. So the university made a decision and a significant investment to build some capability in the results moderation space. So that's SwinModerate, or moderate results moderation as we're calling it now, as we've had some good marketing feedback that we can't use the word Swin in it. But effectively, the university has spent quite a bit of time and effort funding over the past 2 to 3 months to build this capability that allows us to do this results moderation across both pathways and vocationals. We're going through the second stage of the development. We've pretty much got about another 4 or 5 weeks to run on that. You know, we were keen to sort of just demonstrate it to, you know, various audiences and, you know, confirm and just get some feedback on it really from, you know, different partners, both here in Australia but potentially overseas, and really to kind of answer some of those questions as to, is it a tool that some, you know, that some institutions may wish to use? You know, is there a need? How, you know, what's that need like? And so to answer some of those border level questions, just from a benefits perspective, and you know, we've had some great input from Brenton and his colleagues on the academic side. So from a Swinburne perspective, we've identified, you know, some pretty significant benefit from it. To give you an idea, it captures around 83% of the errors that would have come through via a manual process via Excel in the results moderation piece. And for Swinburne, you know, we've identified around 700 days of labour of time saving, both not only for the back-end staff that have to do the results moderation pieces and collect that information, but also for, you know, the teaching staff, teaching professionals that actually have to moderate. So, you know, that's a significant saving for us as an institution, and it definitely makes you know, people's lives easier. So before we dive into the demonstration, are there any sort of questions on that, or is there any other specific points that people on the call would like to get out of today's session, please? I'll take Simon's affirmation that we're good to go.
I was just going to say, I'd love to get a little bit of info about what it was built, the platform it was built on, sort of from a bit of a technical perspective, and the obvious question of, are you open to sharing or collaborating on the code as well?
Potentially, Stuart. Do you want to do the tech?
Yeah. So from an application perspective, it's primarily a standard Java application stack. We are currently hosted and running in Azure, so we're using Azure for application hosting, as well as Azure SQL database for any kind of disaster recovery type activities we need to do.
Awesome.
It's pretty much straight to Canvas APIs, and since we are an Azure shop already, we're using our own Azure infrastructure to support that.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you for that.
So, sorry, could you repeat that question? Okay, no, it's cool. I think I've got just that. So to your question, Stuart, about partnering on the code, you know, the reason that, I mean, there's options there, yes, you know, perhaps depending on what we're intending to do with this particular, you know, piece of, or this development, you know, happy to have further discussions around the use of this with other universities find this useful, you know, are there going to be benefits, that sort of stuff.
That'd be great, because we're actually looking at this very moment about starting our own development in the same area. So wow. This has come at a very timely moment for us.
Stuart, okay. Could I just add, we just got an email yesterday from the company All the Ducks. We wanted them to do some work for us, and they said, oh, we're too busy writing a grades review moderation integration system for Blackboard, but they said that, you know, with some minor modification, it would work with Canvas. And they just emailed us this week to say, do we want a demo of the alpha? So they appear to be doing something as well. So I just sort of throw that in for interest.
Excellent.
So sorry, which organisation? All the ducks. Right. Okay.
Yeah, they're called All the Ducks. So if you search for them, you'll find them. I'll send a link on the chat.
So as a bit of background, we did speak to All the Ducks originally in November. They were not able to accommodate our timelines because of the focus on Blackboard. Yes. Plus, I believe their focus was also for the whole results certification process. And we didn't need the entire process. We just needed the capture, moderation, and submission to student one. Because our certification process happens downstream in student one.
Okay, yeah, good to know.
Okay, if there's no other questions, or if we've answered everything, we'll Brenton, over to you.
Okay, so I'll stop sharing here, and now Richard, I've made you co-host, so you should be able to take sharing. So you should be able to see a button, Richard, that says share screen. Yep.
Yep, it's all done.
Yep.
Sorry, it's Brenton Hall who's presenting, just using my computer.
Okay.
Okay, hi there, my name's Brenton. I'm the academic in the room who's also been on the team as product owner and giving feedback on what we'd like to have this tool provide. It appears natively in Canvas down here as a results moderation, and for this demonstration, what I want to picture is that we've reached the end of the semester and all of the assessment items have been placed into the grade book for Canvas. So I'm ready to do my moderation. So as a convener, with convener status, I can click on the results moderation icon there, and that will go in and grab all of the total marks from the gradebook, and then populate the tool that you can see kind of appearing before you. It also brings across everything from the gradebook that can be seen in a non-editable fashion, which I'll show you a little bit later on. So automatically you can see a few things that have appeared there. We've got some light red banding. The university has a moderation policy that we always moderate results which are within 2 grade points of a grade boundary, be it the high distinction, credit or pass, and also I think we look at the anything from 45 to 49 for students who are in the fail area. So they're automatically highlighted for us, I'll just point out that we have the marks that are pulled across from the total column, and we've also automatically generated a letter grade for that corresponds to that particular mark. So that was previously something that been entered by hand before. So there are a couple of ways that we can actually, you can see something that's popped up there. We've got lots of tooltips on each of the subject headings as well. Lots of functionality built into the tool. There are a couple of ways that you can do your moderation, and so I'll go through the 2 primary ways using the tool, which would probably capture a large majority of academic staff members. So what I'm going to want to do is identify all the students that need review. So first thing, I'm going to click select all, and now you'll notice that there are results that go over 1 page in this particular unit. This is the dev unit, which I think has about 250 students in it. Each page can display 50, it's capped at 50 students, but that select all grabs every student's detail, and I'm going to copy those results, those marks across to the moderated mark column, and that'll also want to automatically calculate a new moderated result. Now, for student 1, only accepts 2-digit numbers as the moderated mark, so we can automatically have those results those marks being rounded. If any of those roundings had shifted a student out of a boundary where they needed to be moderated, that pink shade will automatically be removed because they don't need to be looked at anymore. I want to look at all of the students that need review. So in this need review column, that's actually a sortable column, so I'm going to click on that a couple of times to bring everything that needs to be looked at to the top. And so there's quite a few there that need moderation, but that's nice. That moderation may be, now go look in my final exam stack and pull out those papers and they get remarked, and maybe that would change a result for a student. So let's say Sana here was very fortunate and her result changed to a 50. Simple as sort of typing that in, that will automatically tick that the review has occurred and remove the pink as well. Maybe I don't have a final exam, but I am able to use this scroll bar to go back and have a look at some of the assessment that a student has done previously throughout the semester, and maybe there's some reason that I'll move the students or change the student's moderated mark. Or I might decide that I've looked at the paper and actually it's an accurate reflection of what the student's able to do, and so therefore I've reviewed the exam. There's a moderation comment column here, which is you could just free response to keep a track of what you've done. It's not mandatory in any way, but maybe the faculty or the department that you work in want to have some policy on that. But it allows you to sort of track what you're doing. So yes, these students here have all, once again, just go through and do that moderation. Once those students have been moderated, what I can do then is the process would be to approve those ones which are selected, and that will send those results back to Canvas to be picked up by student 1. It will also lock those results, so they can't be edited, and I'll show that in a little while. But that's really how simple the moderation can be when you're using the tool. And the idea would be at the to get through all those pink ones, then that moderation is completed. I want to show you now another way of doing the moderation, and if I drag this down from here, there are a couple of functions here, an import and export function, and so sometimes you want to do moderation outside of the tool, and what we'll do here is use the export function to do that moderation in Excel. So that exports a CSV file. Now I'm going to open that up, but I also need to share that with you, so bear with me.
Are you guys currently seeing that Excel file shared?
Not yet.
Okay, not yet. Okay, so I just need to
Click on that green.
okay. And we go here. Yep. Okay. Fantastic. All right. So you should see an Excel screen now. So the students who will all needed to be moderated, so all of the students' results have been copied across, so I can quickly scroll down and see how many we've got here, about 200. We've brought across the mark and the result, and of course that moderated mark and moderated result that we had, and some of the data from all the data, I should say, from the gradebook. So let's say I want to do the moderation to every student. So I've looked at the exam, and actually there was a question on there that was unfortunately poorly done by everybody, and therefore it wasn't really a valid question. So I might need to sort of shift the distribution or take that into account. So I will add 1 mark to every student's moderated mark there, and I'll just drag that down. Make sure it copies across to everyone. Okay. So in Excel, there's no change of the letter grade, of course, but I don't need to because we'll find when I re-import that. So I should save that first of all. And then I'm going to go back to my back to Canvas again. So you're seeing the Canvas screen again? Yep. Hope so.
Yep.
Fantastic, thank you. And I'm going to do something here that's a little bit different. I'm just going to sort by mark. And I'm now going to import that file. No, I think I'll put it down. Okay. So I've just browsed that CSV file. I'm going to upload it. There'll be a couple of things that have happened there. So one is that all of those moderated marks have been recopied over. Okay. The moderated result has been recalculated. There's actually one, we've had there's some very smart validation that goes on behind the scenes. So one of these marks is actually not valid. And then you've got a student ID that we can look up. In fact, that one actually appears at the top because I had a 100, which I added 1 mark to, of course. So that's an invalid result because the maximum you can have is 100. So let's put that 100 back in there. So now everyone's got a result. And if I hit that needs review, where all of the ones that required moderation were to start with, they've automatically all been ticked. Okay, so because we've done the moderation using the CSV file there. And if you were paying attention, you would have noticed that the sorting of the students was different in Canvas as to what was in the Excel file. And so there's actually validation on student ID whenever you copy anything in. So there's no way of any two Tom Smiths getting the wrong result. So that was actually a big rookie mistake that we used to have using Blackboard. So okay, so we've reviewed everything, and so now we just need to approve it. So we would go up to this approve selected, and that would send the results back to so send the moderated mark and the moderated result back to Canvas to be picked up. Did you click it? Did I click it? Let me go again.
UAT, slow.
And once that's done, these results have been shaded out and are non-editable. So I'll be taking a bit of time because you have the results there.
Yeah, you're on UAT. We find our UAT pretty slow.
Okay, thank you. So once those results have appear locked, there is the option, of course, to unlock and change them. So if there was a results review meeting and some decision was made there that we needed to change the results, or if a unit convener made a mistake, they can go back and fix that before result certification using the tool. But overall, it's pretty intuitive and straightforward. There are a couple of additions I might add to. So one is there's a grade distribution report we can run, which is a requirement here at the university, which will show the grade distribution for the unit plus the grade distribution for the unit that's been run previously. So you've got some way of comparing. It's useful information for the unit convener to have an idea about how they do their moderation. And there'll also be an automatic generation of there's another one coming in a subsequent sprint for our result certification process where the unit convener needs to sign off and the moderator signs off that the moderation's been done. That sort of automatically takes all information and allows the unit convener to blurb if there's distribution. unusual. So if there's a large number of fails or a large number of HDs or something like that.
At the moment, we can't quite hear you. Can you speak up a bit?
Sorry. So did you hear the description of the grade distribution?
Yes.
Okay, so there'll be another one under here which will which generates a PDF for certification to say that the moderation has been done. It's a process that we have here, so that'll also save some time because it will be automatically populating all the details. So we did get during that discussion, there was a pop-up message that all those results have been approved. And so you can see they're grayed out, so I can't go in and select and edit them. But if I wanted to change something, I could easily select that result, unlock it. A little bit of a warning message there to make sure I remind you that I should approve it after I've changed it. So yes, I'm going to go in here and I can change this result. Okay, it's on the grade boundary, so I'll make sure I review it. I should say there are a couple of grades that don't have numbers as well. So for our grading schema, so it's possible that a moderated mark, so there is no moderated mark, and then a student might have a deferred result, or maybe they had no attempt at the unit. That's a valid result as well, so we can approve that one too. That's pretty much the end of the demonstration. It's that simple.
Can I ask, sorry?
Just to give you a bit of background on what's happening behind the scenes here, so that from an integration perspective. So this particular tool is writing everything back to the Canvas gradebook as custom columns. And we have our own in-house integration that pulls data down from the custom columns to write to student one. So as a tool itself, it's pretty standalone. It doesn't prescribe any integration into any of your student management system. It's just literally Canvas to Canvas, Canvas to this tool and back to Canvas again. So the integration into student one is custom built. So that's potentially something that would be an additional integration aspect that would happen depending on your student management system. Yeah.
And can I just ask, so you are writing into a custom column, which was exactly what I was about to query. Are you hiding the total mark from students in the gradebook, or are you choosing to show that to them and communicate to them that just because that's the mark that they're seeing doesn't mean that might be their final grade and it's subject to further moderation?
Yeah, so we're currently having that very discussion, and so usually before, like during the exam period, the total mark is hidden, or the final exam mark, I should say, column will be hidden, which hides the total from them, and then it's muted. That's right. That's the right terminology, and then they can see the grade summary as well. So.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions at all on the tool? Any sort of feedback?
Just got a question. I missed it at the very beginning. So what's the underlying, what have you written the code in? And can you just talk a little bit about that back end?
It's a Java-based application, which is we've hosted in Azure on Azure, I've forgotten the App Engine, I think it is. And we also use the Azure SQL database, and we use Azure for all our disaster recovery and database backups. But as an application, it's a standard Java application that needs to talk to some kind of database. So it can be hosted on-prem, can be hosted in whatever cloud provider if necessary as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, thoughts, feedback?
Looks good. We're just starting our journey into this. So we've never had it with Blackboard. So we're, but I'm expecting it to be a 1-year project. But this is really helpful to see how somebody else has started to do it. So I'll share this video with the project team.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, you know, one of the reasons for it is obviously to help the Canvas community and put this information out there. You know, we have, Swinburne's invested a lot of time, energy and money into this, and we're talking many hundreds of thousands of dollars, you know, into this tool. So we are also looking at, you know, opportunities if, you know, from a commercialization standpoint. So if there is any interest for something like this, then feel free to reach out to me, and we can have a conversation. If there are any other questions that anybody has, then please feel free to, you know, as I say, either reach out directly to, you know, the team or myself, and we'll be certainly happy to answer those.
That would be great. I can say I'll definitely be in contact in the next week or so.
Okay, and sorry, who was that? Was that?
That's Stuart from UTS, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no worries, Stuart. I look forward to having a chat.
Excellent. Thanks so much.
No problem. Probably sorry, go on.
I think it's still a little bit early for us. I agree. It's interesting to see how you've done things, and you know, it looks quite simple. The user interface looks really good. From our point of view, if we wanted to go down a hosting or something like that, there'd clearly be, and I'm sure UTS still would be in the same boat. All of the there'd be a fair bit of customization around, you know, names of results that you don't, you know, students might not get a result for. We might call them different things. Those moderation points where you might want to highlight, they might be different from different universities. So I'm assuming that the way you've written it, that those sort of stuff would be reasonably customizable or easily customizable and not sort of hard written in the code.
Yeah, very much so. So all of those grade boundaries and the structures and the schemas are actually stored within, you know, as configuration items, and you know, some of the existing or further development for us is to put those into a you know, like an interface that allows you to actually define all that information very, very easily. We've built in eight grading schemas, 3 on the PAVE side, 5 on the HE side, but we're aware that no two organisations are the same, so there's that need for that sort of configuration, is the phrase I was looking for just now. Yeah. You know, those items are highly configurable.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Any other? If there's nothing else, we might close it there, guys. Thank you so much for your time today. Do reach out if you've got any other questions. Thanks very much to the team, especially Brenton, for, you know, taking us through the demonstration, and you know, look forward to talking soon.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. Cheerio.
So Stuart and myself will organise to make this video available on the APAC group, and so thank you very much for everybody for attending.
Pleasure. Thanks for your time.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheerio.